We're going to start an Indiegogo campaign to raise enough money to have Terry meet Woody Harrelson.
Really?
We need this obsession to stop. Give us just enough to make this dream come true. So this is Christmas.
We're going to get sued by World Vision. Guys, welcome back to the I'll See Myself Out podcast. I'm Ryan Patel.
I'm Dan Lisho.
I'm Norm Reynolds.
I'm apparently Terry today.
He's graduated from Just Terry. These will be your only warnings.
We will use foul language.
There will be spoilers.
It's going to be foul language.
So we are talking about The Fugitive, as you already started saying.
The Fugitive, where Han Solo is convicted of a crime he didn't commit by killing his wife. Commit! Let me redo that one.
No, or even it. Just continue on your way.
You could say we're already committed.
He didn't commit the crime, but was thrown in jail for it. He managed to run away and somehow free his name, but they didn't actually free his name.
Free his name.
His name was always free.
I think the running title for this movie before it was released was Free Name. I think Tommy Lee Jones's character was probably, for me, the best part of this movie. He's such a son of a bitch during the movie in such like a deliberate asshole way. His favorite line is when he pops around the corner, shoots the fucking guy in the head who's holding the woman hostage, and then he's sitting outside with the other officer, and the other guy's like, I wouldn't have taken the shot. I would have given him a chance. And he leans and he's like, can you hear me? And the guy's like, yeah. He's like, I don't take chances.
My favorite line of Tommy Lee Jones's in this movie was when they were in the dam, and he's like, I didn't kill my wife. He goes, I don't care.
Such an asshole in this movie, but it's hilarious.
The part that I hated about it was after Han Solo turns tail and runs down the tunnel, and he pulls out that extra gun. He's running down the tunnel with the gun out like this.
That was a deliberate shot that was like, look, he has a gun. If you were trying to be in a situation where you wanted to be safe, you don't enter a room and point the gun in the wrong direction.
Nobody move!
The fucking body that they use to toss him over the dam, it's hilarious the way it goes down. It kills me every time I see that.
I thought it was believable.
The way that it's doing splits and all the limbs are going in a different fucking direction on its way down the actual dam.
What I loved about this movie, though, was the fact that everything perfectly had to happen for him to get away.
This is a concept I have problems with in a lot of movies where I'm like trying to weigh between, is this what makes this story interesting, or would I believe that this movie was more realistic if the shit that led there was like more reasonable? Would it be as interesting of a movie if it just like was simple?
I think that's exactly what makes movies interesting, is that it's the story that's not normal.
Right.
I think you have to kind of let that be a given, that all those things that are super unlikely and would never happen are the reason it's a movie.
I feel like there's probably like a very small margin between this is so ridiculous it could never be possible and this is just unlikely enough. It's not so much to the point that it's like, you're full of shit, you fucking liar.
Having these events that are like unlikely to happen, happening in succession, I can get behind that. Weirder things have happened. The things that I can't get behind are the little things that we talked about earlier where he's got the gun kind of out to here. But I've seen like the dumbest series of events happen in real life,
right,
where like something falls and then hits a ball and the ball rolls and knocks over a glass and then somebody slips on the water.
That's also like a bit of a telltale sign of earlier Hollywood, especially like during the 80s and 90s. A lot of what was done on film wasn't necessarily there for realism. And that's why we like doing what we do with sitting down watching these older movies, is like we have this idea in our mind that like, oh, this is a movie that was so great. This is a movie that was made like so well when we were younger. We idealized, and then we watch these movies and we're like, this is fucking ridiculous. Even the technology is huge. Like the technology has come along in filmmaking is like giving people the opportunities to shoot scenes in more realistic ways. Before you kind of had to like, sometimes you had to fake it. Sometimes you really had to just work with what you could get away with just to make it look believable. I feel like in this day and age now, like somebody falling off of a dam, they probably just strap a fucking GoPro onto somebody and actually have them go off a dam or something. Back then they were like, we can't afford to kill someone today. I agree, there's definitely like, there are some things in the film that like took me out of it a little bit. I have to say, like, I didn't hate it. I actually loved some of the more ridiculous parts. Definitely the scene when Tommy Lee Jones snaps around the corner and shoots the guy in the head. That happened so fucking fast, and like I almost started laughing because who would ever just do that? Who would ever just pop around the corner and like blind fire a fucking hostage being held like in like temple to temple with the person you're trying to shoot in the head? That's crazy. And I have to say, I find it also pretty hilarious the way that Harrison Ford was sprinting with the chains around his ankles, watching the train over his shoulder. That scene felt a million years long.
And he was just like beelining it in the direction that the train was going. Zig!
Precisely.
Zig! or zag. I don't care. Pick a different direction.
Even the way that the attitudes of the officers are portrayed seems like really makes them not seem like they would be actual officers. Even the way the guy who throws in the key and lets him out and tells the story of what he saw happen, he's like, oh, I don't know if he made it. I think everybody died. And then like they find that his chain's on the ground, they bring it up, and the cop's like, do you want to change your story? And then like Tommy Lee Jones says something like, do you want to stop feeding us bullshit? You're just like, who are these fucking cops?
Okay, I give this movie 9 out of 10. I didn't think about it. Something to pick.
Did you guys like this movie? Are we off base?
What do you guys think? Oh, I know what my biggest pet peeve of this movie was. Can't believe I almost forgot. Battlefield Earth poster that was in the background.
Really took you out of it, eh?
Yeah, I give this movie 8 out of 10 Battlefield Earth posters.
I liked it. I liked what it offered as far as the story is concerned, and it was like, it was nice to see Harrison Ford in like in an early role, because I haven't watched a lot of his earlier films in a while. I'd say it's like at least worth a watch. Like it's definitely a classic, I would say.
It's also not one of his earlier movies. We're just older now.
Early enough on for me to call it a classic, because I'm only X amount of years old. I won't ever tell. I'm gonna rate it 6 out of a possible 8 dummies being thrown off of a dam.
Because I was bothered by the fact that he didn't end up going back to jail, because he ran away from the police for that entire time. He was trying to hear his name. I can only give it 6 hobo beards out of 12 Woody Harrelsons.
Overall, I enjoyed this movie. I think I would give it 31 out of the 37 years Ryan has to live.
Definitely want to take the time to thank Brock Street Espresso for hosting us during all these podcasts. They make great coffee, a super cool place to hang out, great space. Give them a check out, whatever that means. Check them out.
And if saying espresso is just too much work for you, you can just say espresso.
But don't say espresso or fuck you.
We also want to thank Man Andler for supplying us with Root of All Evil. It's a delicious root beer flavored beer. And you should check them out. They're located in Bowmanville. And when you're done drinking it, makes a mean tool.
I don't like being here.
Me either.
Did I say tool? What is it? What's it called?
What?
Growler.
Instrument?
I mean, it has almost as nice acoustics as Norm's asshole.
And when you're done drinking it, you can make a nice little tuber out of it.
Tuber.
Like a potato?
Okay,